afternoon, everybody. CrazyJuan coming back at you on Xbox One with another episode of our play of Kerbal Space Program. Gonna head back into our Science Sandbox mode. Thanks everyone for coming along. Be sure to like and subscribe here at the original Next Level Gaming YouTube channel. Also, feel free to swing by my own. That's CrazyJuan on YouTube. Feel free to also hit me up on Twitter and Xbox Live. So since we last checked in, we've done quite a few little things to gather science and made some advancements in our aerodynamics, and so we've opened up the ability to make things at the spaceplane hangar. So we're going to do that today. We need 90 science, or 84.73 at the top of the screen there. Need 90 science to get our next unlock of technology and or items. And so what I want to do is I want to fly across a big oceanic bay and land there and gather some samples and such. Take some temperature readings. That should put us over the edge on the science. So today we're building a plane instead of a rocket. So we'll start with the cockpit instead of the command pod. We're going to want to take a scientist with us. So we're going to need a crew cabin. We're going to want to take a lab. We're going to need some fuel. And I think that'll actually be enough. So we'll put a tail section on the plane. Gonna need some wings. Using the X and the R1, I'm sorry, L1. So L1 and then X, we're going to set that down the bottom left corner there, the symmetry to mirrored. Oh, and we're going to do L1, R1, the L1 and Y to make it snap to preset angles. There we go. Put another wing on it. That ought to do. A little bit off. That'll do. So we got a wing. Need a tail fin. We got it set for the mirrored still, but I only want one on the top. Don't want a mirrored one on the bottom. And so we'll grab another fin and we'll mirror this one to get us a nice amount of control surface. If I can align it correctly. Here we go. Alright, starting to look like a plane, right? So what we need is some engines. We're going to grab these tiny fuel tanks for liquid fuel for the jet engines. And let's go with some high mount right there. And maybe, I don't really like the angle on that. Feels like it would not be straightforward thrust. So let's move them up to here. And why not some more underneath? Alright. We're going to be taking off on the ground, so we're going to need some landing gear. Don't need this one mirrored. Looks about right. That one's a steerable landing gear. We'll put a couple fixed ones here. These we want mirrored. That ought to do. Okay, so we have our fuel tanks, fuselage, all that. Gonna need inlets on those engines. I don't think you really make a jet engine by putting an inlet on a fuel tank, but we'll let that slide. Alright, looks the part, right? Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to slap on a thermometer. I'll put that right here by the door. I only need one of those. And we're going to want a goo tank. And just because I like symmetry, we're going to go ahead and mirror that, I believe. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I like the symmetrical aspect. And lastly, let's put a couple of batteries on it. Because we're going to want enough power to keep the control surfaces working and everything until we can get where we want to be going. So the next step is to crew the thing. And we're going to take good old Jathis here. We're going to leave the seat empty because there's no door on the crew cabin, only on the command pod, the cockpit command pod. So we need to be able to move the pilot back to the empty seat and move the scientist up to get him out, which was discovery that I had earlier, so save yourself a trip with that. But I think we're ready. Oh, we gotta do our staging. Oh, and because I have no idea, I'm terrible at flying in this game, and I have no idea how to do a rough field landing, or if these wheels, the landing gear even can, we're going to go back to build, grab a couple of radial mount parachutes, like 4, I'm thinking. So we'll use the X button to set it to radial symmetry, and we'll cycle through L1 and X to get to 4 and get ourselves some parachutes there, so we can have a nice hopefully survivable landing and do some science experiments where we're going. Okay, so we're crewed up, we're fueled up. We need to set our stages. Also, I want these here. not to pop too early, so we'll go ahead and do that. That looks about right. Engine's in one stage and popping the chute when we get there. So let's take it to the strip. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is engage the stability, because it's kind of like fly-by-wire. This thing is not very airworthy, so the stability management helps. I'm going to hold the X button to engage the brake, throttle up, and kick off the engine's first stage. Overcoming the brake, so we'll go ahead and pop it. Gotta be careful when you're taking off. Too much angle on takeoff and the tail will hit the ground, which is bad. Alright. Not exactly wheels up because they don't do that, but we're on our way. So what we want to do is we're going to bank and turn. And I want to head generally this way, I believe. I think I want a little more bank and turn out of it. That ought to do. I'm like the worst pilot ever. Like how you can see the control surface is moving. Just give a little bit back. Okay, that ought to maybe do. I'll check here in a moment, but I want to get some levelness to the flight. Now we can back down the throttle a bit. Gotta conserve fuel. I don't really know if I have enough fuel to get where I want to go, but we're gonna find out. I'm gonna pick up the throttle just a little bit. See if I can't get us at a nice cruising speed. Still losing altitude. Let's get a little more. Jet thrust over my tail section is causing some issues, but stability management seems to be handling it, so that's okay. So looking at the map, I want to get to this desert region across the pond here. Maybe I should be less grandiose and aim for the but you can see that little offshoot there about halfway down the screen, kind of a different color. That's where we started. You might be able to kind of thought about going over the water, but I'm not really aiming that way. We'll have to turn north a little bit. I don't know if I can make it over the water. It's a long way. Meanwhile, we're losing altitude, so that's not cool. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Alright, we're going to advance time. Kind of want some more altitude, I think. Might be the worst jet ever. Barely functional, but it's doing it anyway. Now we're passing over different parts. I've discovered different parts of Kerbal. For example, that was the grasslands back there. This is coming up on the highlands. And you can replicate science experiments like checking the temperature, getting soil samples in the different regions for more science reward, for more points, more science to cash in at the R&D for tech and stuff. I think we're clear. Going to clear the mountain, so let's pick up time again. Slow time down and settle this thing down a little bit. That nose back up. Well, we're making progress. Let's pick up the pace again. This is that discolored area I was talking about. Whoa. Not what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Well, our fuel seems to be holding out okay so far. Wow, let's slow this down because it's getting all kinds of shaky. I think, though, that this will suffice for a different region. So we're going to throttle it back. Give us a turn. Now the altimeter is for sea level, so it can be a bit misleading. We got a rise coming here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the chutes, I think. This is not traditionally how I'd try to land an airplane, but I think it'll get us there on the ground without necessarily destroying everything, hopefully. Coming a little hotter than I would hope at 8 meters per second, but I think the nose cone can take up to 30. Go ahead and speed up time a little bit. There's our shadow. Alright, well, we broke it a little bit, but not too bad. Kind of silly, but we'll take it. Let's go ahead and shut down. Okay, so we're shut down. And we can take a look at the... It's so funny, it's upside down. We can take a look at the crew hedge here, and we're doing okay on juice. Over here is another place you can see it. Not much, but here's where you can see the fuel is used, monopropellant used for RCS thrusters, I believe, and we're doing okay in electrical charge. So let's do our crew shift. B button on that, and we're going to go to transfer crew and transfer the pilot to the crew section, crew cabin. And then we're going to do another transfer from the crew cabin. Our scientist, Jathis, I believe, to this section. And we'll do a crew report. Okay, well, that's okay. How about from here? Okay, well, no worries. Might be able to be powered if we power up an engine. Maybe. Nope. Oh well. So, ever onward. We're going to go down here to our scientist. Do an EVA. Activate a hatch. Oh, he didn't get moved, did he? Alright. So we'll click here, we're going to transfer crew, we're going to pick our scientist, and we're going to tell him to go here. Now he's transferred. So we click here, oh no, we click on him, on the EVA, we'll let go. Alright. We're on the surface with our Kerbal. I don't know if I've shown this on tape. Maybe I did in that first video after the tiny little hop, but first thing we want to do is get up close to the thermometer we placed on the plane. Zoom in to be able to select it better. And we're going to log the temperature here. 2.4 science. Yay! So we are definitely in the desert now, so that's cool. We found a different biome, so we'll hang on to that data, and we'll see what the goo wants to do. I'm not close enough to observe, I guess. There we go. Observe the mystery goo. The goo seems to hate it here. So we'll do that. Next thing to do is get back to this guy, and we're going to take a surface sample. Lots of sand and rocks here. And we're going to do an EVA report. It's true, we didn't need a spacesuit to get here. And I think that's going to be what we can get out of it. So we picked up a little science, had fun with the flight, And I don't think Dude can get back in because the hatch isn't really doing the same. But I suppose I should also plant a flag. Yay! I don't need it to say anything. But that'll tell me that I've been here anyway, so in my old age, if I forget whether I've flown here and checked it out, it'll appear, just like this flag on the other side of over in the Highlands. So the next thing to do is go ahead and recover the vessel. Not too bad, just a broken tail fin. Not that I had to pay for it this time, but that's what we needed. We picked up 11.4 science and got us over the 90 threshold for our next unlock. The tracking station is where you can see all missions you have going. This ship is still over there, so we're going to go ahead and recover it. Because when we did the recovery from the menu, it just recovered the active Kerbal and the science. But now we'll get the vessel back. Pick up a couple more science on the on the deal, and rescue our pilot who was still in the cabin. So that is a little jaunt across the bottom of this Africa looking continent, from the shore to the desert. Let's head out of the tracking center. And take a quick spin past the R&D. Okay, so what do we, with so many choices next? We have power sources we can choose from: electrics, unmanned control, photovoltaic. That'll be kind of nice. Solar panels will be handy because I've ran out of charge trying to get to the moon. Actually, pack a ton of batteries. A light. For tiny stuff. Ladder would be kind of nice for moving around the ship. A lander can, that'll be necessary eventually. Thruster blocks for the... That's pretty cool. That's going to be handy for maneuvering in space. Little thrust instead of burning up liquid fuel. Gonna need this one eventually. That heat shield would be nice. Better parachute. Retractable landing gear. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm not entirely too sure what I'm going to spend on yet. I'm thinking, though, you can't really go wrong with much of it. Fuel systems, advanced construction options, more aerodynamics. I'm kind of leaning towards more aerodynamics right now. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because I can use that to explore Kerbal and make some more science. Still have to get samples from other places, I believe. I don't know though. Sure would like to make that trip around the moon. But at any rate, we'll go ahead and figure that out. Guess I'm going to go with the man, I'm just not too sure. I'm going to have to do some homework and get back on that. So, but thanks for everyone tuning in. I'll be back with another video when I've got some more things figured out and another mission to do to collect some science or show something else other than just grind. So thanks again for tuning in here at the original Next Level Gaming channel, and I appreciate all the support on Twitter from all the friends and fam that I have been so supportive in these video efforts of mine. Hope everyone has a solid week and stays cool wherever you are with all that crazy heat. Have a good one.